What is this video?
Confidence has no size.
I agree. Maybe he could tell us how he's so confident in his small build. What's it like being 5'1"?
Lies and deception will not be tolerated. Let's measure. Ignore the mark at the 3-inch.
Yeah, pussy. Yup.
Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? All right, this is gonna have to do. Everybody see here? Everybody see clearly? Haha. What's that say?
Went up like an inch or two there.
What's that say? Oh, 6 foot. That's crazy. How's it going, everybody? My name is Orange Peanut, and yet again, another commentary YouTuber is mad at me and trying to roast me. Today's subject is Jake Doolittle, a YouTuber with a little over 150,000 subscribers, and in one of his latest commentary / reaction videos, he is mad at me for saying that obesity is bad and shouldn't be glorified. Let's take a look at who he is.
Dude, I have the most based take. Wait a minute, what? This guy's from Maine? No shot. I grew up in Portland, which is north of South Portland.
Yep, sounds about right. He's got some chunk to him. He is definitely a bit chunky. I wouldn't call him obese, but I definitely wouldn't call him in good shape here.
You can barely tell what kind of shape he's in. Couldn't this dude have I mean, I guess you can tell by his face. He doesn't really look super big.
I wouldn't call him obese, but I definitely wouldn't call him in good shape here. He looks a lot like Hannah Gadsby, that one British feminist comedian that everyone hates. Was he always fat? Let's see. Oh, Jake. Oh, Jakey Poo. Oh, no. Jake Doolittle. Doolittle cardio? Doolittle dieting? Doolittle exercise? I'm not gonna make any more comments on his appearance and his weight because that's too easy. I'm gonna look at what he has to say about me and offer my rebuttal. So let's check out his video where he's mad at my video on fat acceptance.
Also, about 51% of you aren't subscribed, and I heard that those 51% of people hate people with chronic illness. So if you want to prove me wrong, then please subscribe and get me to 200K before the end of the year. Thanks.
So right off the bat, I just want to say begging for subscribers in the first minute of your video is clear loser activity.
Oh, dude, I don't think this guy necessarily makes bad commentary videos, but Jesus, this is the second video I've seen from him, and some of his points are just so dumb. Like, he got all mad about that Jake Doherty guy or whatever for making really fast-paced shorts. It's like, that's what every YouTuber does, dude. And now he's making another point. He's like, begging for subscribers is actually... It's like, dude, shut up. So many people do that. It's not even I don't even think it's bad. It kind of just comes off like he's just hating to hate, or he's he would ignore this point if a YouTuber he liked did it.
If people like your video,
but he's gonna shit on this guy for it,
subscribe.
It just feels
asking
dumb.
them's not gonna do anything, so I don't really see the point to doing that. Just wanted to throw that out there.
What's up, Jolly Mikey?
Some fat acceptance TikToks. 3 words that should never, ever go together.
I think that it would make sense that they are together, right? Wouldn't that be a good thing if you're accepting of your body? I understand that this guy's accepting of his, I don't know, armpit bruises.
So what he's referring to there are my shoulder stretch marks. My shoulders grew so much in my first 1.5 years of working out that there's just stretch marks on them now. I'm not ashamed of them in any way because they're a clear indicator of my hard work in forming my body to something I'm actually proud of. I'm sure, Jake, you have some stretch marks from all the weight you've gained in the last 2 years, but
okay. All right, I'm about to give my super based alpha giga chad truthful take on, I don't even know, dude, why are we still having these conversations in 2023? I feel like this is a really simple, basic concept for people to understand, okay? Going around telling people we shouldn't be accepting, people just get caught up in the word accepting. I feel like when people talk about being more accepting of obese people, we're kind of saying the opposite of don't hate yourself, right? I feel like there's a healthy balance of yeah, you can be aware of whatever physical state that you're in, and you should, be aware that of any possible health repercussions, and you should, strive to, for some self-improvement. But I feel it kind of gets wrapped, when people are finance gurus start talking about how we shouldn't be accepting of overweight people. I feel that kind of goes with you should also hate yourself if you're overweight. And I feel you can love yourself and love who you are, but also and in a healthy way also acknowledge that there's room for you to improve. This shaming of overweight, I feel is just really weird because most overweight people probably know that they're overweight. And I don't know. I said I had a really based Giga Chad take on this, and now I'm trying to formulate my opinion because I've never said it out loud. But I feel like also too, when a lot of people, like, I don't know, have you ever seen clips of people like on podcasts talk about how like we have like an overweight problem and people need to get in shape? They're like all like angry. Those people don't come off like compassionate or caring. It kind of just sounds like they just want to like shit on overweight people. It's just like, I don't know. That doesn't really feel like the healthiest way to go about it either. So like whenever somebody's like, oh no, I just like, I say what I say because I want people to like be aware of like their issues, you know, it's like, no, you don't. You just want to shit on somebody that is bigger than you. I don't know. So that just kind of feels wrong. I think kind of the underlying point is just like having some empathy. I don't know. I don't think anybody's advocating. I feel like people like this advocate and say that like, you know, we should promote obesity, which I feel like that's what people kind of conflate in their heads when they see like, you know, an obese person on like the cover of a magazine or something. They think that we're like promoting it or saying that like this is an ideal, which I get why people think that, but it's also like, I feel like it's kind of just like a form of acceptance and representation that I think generally makes people feel is generally like a good thing for society. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit more and formulate my take, but basically I think that I don't know, nobody's like advocating for more people to be obese.
I'm sure you're not very proud of. But you know, to each their own.
You have over 500,000 subscribers and you're filming this where? In your parents' office? You've got a $30 monitor and a ginormous printer. I can't tell if you're in a college tech center or literally inside King Tut's tomb.
So this is actually a good comment. A lot of my recording setups are in strange places. So much about the setup, as long as it's quiet and I could set up a light and my camera. That particular location is, so basically I live in an apartment complex. So when I'm not in college, there's a little clubhouse area in my neighborhood that's really quiet after 11 p.m. There's nobody there, so I can just kind of have my own space to record. So yeah, that answers that question.
The entire TikTok.
It's not that impressive. I can lie in a matter of 10 seconds. I'm attracted to you. You're smart. You're good at making content. You're not in a fraternity.
So what's funny here is that he actually didn't do his research because at least two of the statements he made there were true. He said, I'm smart, which, you know, obviously he was trying to be sarcastic and say that I'm stupid. I had a 1430 on my SAT. I have half a scholarship to college for my grades in high school, and I made the dean's list my freshman year, so I actually am decently smart. I don't like bragging about my brains because I hate people who do that, but yeah, that's one true statement. And then he said I'm not in a fraternity, implying that I'm a frat bro. I'm actually not in a fraternity. I don't like frats. The frats at my school make very, very bad decisions that I don't want to be associated with. So I'm also not in a fraternity. So two objectively true statements right there. As far as me making good content, I wouldn't call my content very high quality, but as far as if it's good or not, that's up to the viewer. And then he also said that he is attracted to me. I don't know what's going on in your head. You do look like a little fruitcake, so I have no idea. But, you know, if you're not, that's cool. I have no problem with that.
Yes, I do. I've went through a bulk and a cut cycle. When I was bulking, I got very big because I ate a lot. And when
Why do you say yes, they do like that?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I went through a bulk and a cut.
You know, making fun of my speech isn't very woke of you. It's not very politically correct. This is the exact same thing that...
This is literally, I'm not even kidding, chat, the dumbest back and forth I've ever seen between two commentary YouTubers, okay? And I was on YouTube when Keemstar and Leafy were making content.
Nick is not green did. He made fun of my stutter. I don't know why, but all these people who preach like acceptance, political correctness, wokeness, they do the same things at the end of the day. It's just they only do it when it benefits them.
Kill me.
So, like, everybody is a piece of shit at the end of the day. It's just a matter of how.
Diets do work. I'm sure she's probably tried one, not stuck to it, and after 1 week gave up and said,
I hate the fact, too, that there's so much context loss in this. Jesus Christ, this guy has the best freeze frames of all time.
shit's not working. And then this...
I can't believe the orange peanut just said that. I mean, you don't know that. You can't.
This shit's not working. And then she's probably tried one, not stuck to it, and after 1 week gave up and said, this shit's not working. And then this...
I can't believe the orange peanut just said that. I mean, you don't know that. You can't assume that about her. You can't be like, yeah, by my calculations, you've been on a diet, but it was only for a week and you didn't stick to it. You don't know that about the person, right?
So he's saying I shouldn't assume things about people when I don't know their life, but he literally just said 10 seconds ago that I was a stupid frat guy. So there's not a lot of consistency here. You can either assume things about people or say that it's not okay to assume things about people, but you can't do both. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Just like, I don't know that you have a bad relationship with your mother, but I can assume it.
Okay, Jake, you're throwing some good punches here. I respect it, but no, I actually love my mom. She loves loves me. She's proud of the accomplishments I've made in life. I'm appreciative of how she's raised me. So no, I actually would say I have a very good relationship with my mother. I don't know where he drew that from, but I guess, sure. Nice assumption.
You're right. It was, 30 seconds ago and you can't remember it. That's good. Maybe get the steroids out of your system. That could be hindering your ability to think.
Haha, a steroid accusation. I love those. So he really thought he was roasting me here. When people try to roast me by saying I'm on steroids, what they don't know is that they're actually complimenting me because
if we want to have it, I think there's genuinely an interesting discussion to be had. I think some people, I don't know, if you want to talk about like what fat acceptance means, I feel like people just have different definitions of what like acceptance means. So I don't know if we want to have a conversation about that. That seems great. By the way, I'm just realizing this now. Is this YouTuber who he's reacting to like promoting? Like, is he? I don't know. I don't even know. This is just like going back and forth. I don't fucking know what's going on.
In the last year and a half is the reason for my dramatic body change. It's actually not steroids. So when you accuse me of being on steroids, that's a compliment more than anything. It means my hard work is paying off. So thank you, Jake. I appreciate it.
You're wearing a NASA tank top. You bought a NASA tank top from Ross and you're like, okay, maybe I can sort of put on a facade that I'm smarter than I am if it looks like I'm an astronaut.
Again, a very strong assumption from someone who doesn't like when people assume things. I got that tank top at a thrift store. It was $2. I don't like spending a lot of money on clothes because I just don't care about what I wear really, as long as, you know, it gets the job done. So I saw a $2 tank top. I said NASA. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna buy it. So that's the story of that happened.
Why is he justifying this? I think that's what's bothering me and what makes me feel like this whole thing is so corny. Why is he responding to being called out for wearing a NASA tank top? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I don't know.
Astronaut.
Again, a very strong assumption from someone who doesn't like when people assume things. I got that tank top at a thrift store. It was $2. I don't like spending a lot of money on clothes because I just don't care.
Dude, on a purely principle sense, I'd probably end up agreeing with this guy a little bit more on things. This just makes you look like such a goofball, dude. What are we doing?
About what I wear, really, as long as, you know, it gets the job done. So I saw a $2 tank top. I said NASA. I was like, okay, that's...
Like, unless this other YouTuber, like, made a video that got, like, a shit ton of views, I guess, and you're just like, I don't know, but it just feels like...
Cool, I'm gonna buy it. So that's the story of
it. Just feels
that
funny.
Happened. But again, he tried to make it very deep. You're wearing a NASA tank top, so you're trying to appear smart. No, I'm wearing a tank top because it makes my shoulders look big.
It's also not like it's impossible to live life if you're overweight, right? I disagree with that. There's a possibility that you can't do certain things, like bench an unconsenting girl, right, Orange Peanut?
Huh?
Wait.
Possibility that you can't do certain things, like bench an unconsenting girl, right, Orange Peanut?
Huh? You want to repeat that one for me, Jake? We went from nice, lighthearted roasts about appearances and background and content to all of a sudden you're accusing me of not caring about consent of girls? What the fuck is wrong with you? No, genuinely. I was trying to have a nice, calming roast session, but out of nowhere, you're jumping at me with this crazy accusation when you don't know anything about my life, anything about who I am, and you literally just stated you shouldn't make assumption about people's lives. What annoys me is that he tries to put on this facade of being like this woke savior for fat people and women, when in reality, that is one of the most grimy things you can do, is accuse someone you've never met before and know nothing about of not caring about women's consent. What is wrong with you? I'm perfectly fine when people make roast videos about me because I have bad content and I say controversial things. I get it. But Jake, please, I am begging you, please give me one shred of evidence that would lead you to say that, because that is one of the worst things you could ever say about someone. And to say that with absolutely no evidence, nothing, literally just me making a video about fat people, to assume that is one of the most stupid and grimy things a person can do. I had more things to say about his video, but that comment he made was just genuinely disgusting. So I'm going to end it on that. Let me know your thoughts on the situation. What side are you on? And with that...
All right, guys, after watching my video, if anybody sat through 9.5 minutes, I can almost guarantee you what their opinion is. Being accused of steroids is the IRL equivalent of being called a hacker for being good at the game. True. As someone who is medically obese, I have never seen so much delusion from a group of people before. I'm finally breaking out of my old habits, and I'm working out now, which is amazing. I'm loving it so far. But it's actually insane how people think being obese is healthy. Okay, I'm really trying hard to like find a better way to formulate my point here. If anybody is actually advocating for the fact that like being obese on a metabolic level is healthy, I don't think anybody actually argues that. But I think the argument of whole like, you know, fat acceptance isn't that. It's just like not unhealthily shaming yourself or other people for the, your current physical state or your physical status. I think that's kind of what it is. Because I think there's a balance. Like, you can love yourself while also recognizing that there's room for improvement. And there's stuff you can do to make yourself better. Those can be two different things. And then these people would be like, oh no, but like we can't be advocating for that because like we have to shame people because then that gets them to like improve their health or whatever. But like I would argue that people who say shit like that don't actually give a shit about people's health. I don't think they actually I don't think they actually give a fuck. I think they just say that as a way to like pat themselves on the back to feel good, because most of the time people who are like fat shaming, quote unquote, right, aren't people who are also fat. Unless you're really just lost. I don't know. It just kind of feels like a giant dumb thing. It's like, I think you can be accepting and loving of yourself and your body and what you've been given, and sort of, this, I don't know, is this too voodoo? You're this encompassing being that you live in. But also really, I feel like that's kind of what like, obese acceptance is. It's kind of also, I feel like, sort of like this acceptance is kind of like obese acceptance for me, at least, kind of felt like it was birthed out of the whole like, unreasonable body standards that people started to get upset about. I don't know, back in the early 2000s. I really don't know when this whole thing started. Where like every woman or every person that you'd see on a magazine was like shredded beyond belief. They had physical appearances that most of the time wouldn't be obtainable by 98% of people. So I felt like it's probably generally a good thing to show different sides of the spectrum in terms of like human physicality on like magazines or on mannequins or in clothing stores or whatever. I think that's generally a good thing, but I feel like people conflated that by saying that like, hey, we're saying that like this is okay now. And it's like, I don't think that's really what's going on. I don't know. This feels like kind of an old argument. So like, I don't even know. I feel like most people get that. And this is like a 5-month-old video, but I don't know. Honestly, I think loving yourself and obese acceptance isn't the same. I think it is. Wait, isn't the same. You can love yourself and you can also be like, I don't know, when people, I think that's kind of where it gets weird. It's like when people talk about accepting obese people, like, what do you like won't converse with them, or you don't think that they're real, or it's like, I don't know. I just don't really get it. I think you can be accepting of obese people. I don't know. It just feels weird. I think you can love yourself and be obese. Is that a crazy thing to say? I don't know. I don't really think that's that crazy. You don't have to wake up hating yourself every single day because you're obese. I feel like most people conflate that though, because they think that like if you're not shameful of how you look every single day, every waking moment of every day, then you've got to then you're not going to go to the gym or ever improve yourself, which I don't think is true. I don't know. Let's keep reading. Went from saying he's trying to be smart. Yeah, that was crazy. Damn, being attractive is really a crime nowadays. It drives jealous people crazy. Man's quite snarky and gives me the vibes that someone tried to be edgy and uber woke at the same time, which is a very weird combo. He's focused on height and speech, things not possible to change when it throws, but then throws a fit over weight, which you have direct daily control over. I'm a very overweight guy, and I hate this whole fat acceptance thing. I know I'm in horrible shape. I'm sick of the term hearing the term fat phobic. Yes, there are people who physically cannot lose weight due to illness, but most overweight people are not like that. They're simply too lazy to change diet or exercise. Yes, I also fall into this category, but at least I'm aware of it. Yeah. I don't know.